Hey, it's Tanya from My Fancy Design Shop, and today I'm going to go over my Valentine Procreate Brush Set. It comes with 20 brushes. There are a few stamps that you can use, as well as lettering brushes and some pattern brushes. With the stamps, it's super easy. Just stamp them on your canvas. You can also adjust the size. And here I'm going to show you how I customize the stamps with the reference layer. So right now I'm going to use my heart stamp. I'm just going to resize it. You can also use arrow on the top menu to resize it as well. And what I'm going to do is use reference layer. So I am going to tap on that layer and turn on reference that you're going to see on the side menu. And then I'm going to add a new layer below it. And everything that I do on this new layer, it's always going to reference back to that stamp layer. So here I am going to drop in my color, and I'm going to use a pink for the heart. And I'm just going to drop it in and making sure that I'm on that new layer below it. And you can see that now the color is on that separate layer, but still the shape of the heart. And then I'm going to add more color. I'd like to use separate layers, so later on I can do maybe some shading, highlights, or textures. And next you're going to see me add some shadows to my banner, which is why I had the two sections of the banner on separate layers, because I'm only going to add the shadows to the ends of it. So I am going to add a clipping mask above it, and I'm going to set that clipping mask to overlay and grab the color black. And you can either use an airbrush, a monoline brush, whichever you prefer. Here I'm going to grab a monoline brush, and I'm going to show you where I'm going to apply it on the clipping mask on the ends of the banner. And then I'm going to add a slight Gaussian blur to it to create a shadow effect. Now, sometimes you might want to use a texture brush to color in your stamps. So what I will do is, for this gnome, I'm going to do the same thing. Tap on reference, add a new layer below it, and instead of using a color, I'm going to use white. And then I'm going to grab one of my textured brushes. Here I'm going to use my crayon brush. And then I'm going to select a color, and I'm going to color right over that white section and making sure that I'm on a clipping mask. And then you can do the same with each section. Here I'm going to add white for the dress of the gnome, and I'm going to add a clipping mask, grabbing a new color, and with my crayon brush I'm going to color right over it. Now all the stamps are customizable. Say that we want to use that gnome again and we didn't want that message be mine, we can just erase it and you can add your own message or even a doodle. The heart stamp you can of course letter inside of the banner. And here I'm going to show you how you can customize the envelope of this stamp. So on the inside, say that we wanted a heart pattern. I'm going to turn on reference layer again, add a new layer below it, and I'm going to drop in the color white. Here you'll see me that I forgot to add that new layer, and I'm going to have to undo what I just did and redo it again on a new layer. Next, I'm going to add a clipping mask above it. I'm going to grab one of my heart brushes, and I am going to color in my entire canvas just to get that pattern that I want. And don't worry, because we are going to be resizing it. Now that I have my heart pattern, I am going to turn clipping mask on, and I'm going to resize it so it kind of fits in the little sections how I want it. And what I'm going to do is just keep duplicating that clipping mask and moving it to a different section. And then you'll see me change the color of the inside of the envelope. I'm going to pick a light pink color, and then I decided to also fill in the rest of the outer side of the envelope with that same color. I'm also going to change the color of the paper in the envelope. I wasn't sure exactly what color I wanted, but I ended up using kind of like an off-white, light gray color. And then you can use one of the stamps, or you can letter something or draw something yourself. I chose to use the With Love stamp that comes with the set. And then here I'm just going to show you how I created a color blend look. So I'm just alpha locking the layer, adding another color. I used pink. I think I used the airbrush, and then I added a blur to it just to make a smooth blend. Now there are a few lettering brushes. I have the Neon, Script, and Monoline. They look best with darker colors, but feel free to use a lighter color. Here I'm using a light pink, and then I'm going to show you how it will look with a darker color. And it really just gives a different effect, so it's just your preference. They also look great with a dark background. Here I'm just going to show you with a black background how the color really pops. Next are the heart stippling brushes. These are super fun. There's a script and a monoline version. Sometimes you'll see the ends overlap if you lift up your Apple Pencil. So all you need to do is grab your eraser and erase it. Just be careful so you don't go into the heart pattern like that. Or what you can do is work in layers. This is what I like to do just because it's easy and you don't have to worry about being so careful when erasing. Here I'm using the monoline, and you'll see that when I lift up my Apple Pencil, I'm going to add a new layer and start lettering. And then I can just easily erase the sections that I want without worrying about going into the actual pattern of the hearts. Then you can merge all the layers together, and soon you're going to see me zoom in on the lettering. You can see that the hearts are different sizes and colors as well to give kind of a dimension to it. Next is the Heartline brush. These are really great as borders, and you can see that it comes in different sizes of hearts as well as colors. If you draw a straight line and tap your other finger on the canvas and move your Apple Pencil back and forth, you can actually easily change the spacing between them. Next is the scattered heart brush. These are really fun to use. I love to use them on the bottom of my designs or even as a background. The inside of the hearts are transparent, so if you do change the background color, it will come through the hearts. So you just want to be careful of that. Then I have a colorful heart pattern brush. These are really fun as well. What you can do is just pick a color, adjust the size, and you want to color your entire canvas. And I am going to show you that the more you color over the hearts, the more the pattern in the hearts are going to change. So it kind of gives you a really cool, I guess, abstract, textured look to it. A fun way to use this pattern is to use them with the stamps. Here I'm going to use one of my envelope stamps, and you're going to see me turn on reference layer for that stamp, and I'm going to drop in the color white. And I'm also going to make sure that that stamp layer is above everything else. After you drop in the color white, I'm just going to change that heart layer to a clipping mask and adjust the size, and then you'll see me change the stamp color to purple. Then I have the random heart pattern brush, very similar to the colorful heart pattern, except it does not change color. So you really don't have to worry about keeping your Apple Pencil on the canvas the entire time when coloring. It's not going to mess the pattern. The only time it will is if you adjust the size before coloring it all in. The last two brushes are my confetti brushes. So these are very similar to my falling leaves from my fall set. One is the heart confetti and one is just circles. I love using these on borders or as backgrounds and then bringing down the opacity. Another fun tip is that you can draw a circle or even a shape square, tap your finger on the canvas so the shape locks in, and you can just resize it like that. Here I'm going to show you that I did a circle and I just kind of moved it in the middle of my canvas. I resized it so it was kind of like on the border, and then usually I would have lettering in the middle. And that is my Valentine set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me here on YouTube, or you can DM me on Instagram. And if you want to check out more about these brushes and some samples using them, you can go to my website at myfancydesignshop.com, or my other shops at Creative Market and Etsy, or on my Instagram. Thanks again.